This portrait from the 1870s features one of Renoir's favorite and most iconic sitters, Nini Lopez. An artist model from Montmartre, she appeared in over 20 of Renoir's most celebrated paintings from this defining decade.
La Femme au Lilas is the pinnacle of these canvases, a painterly testament to the Impressionist portrait and the largest single-figured example left in private hands. Femme au Lilas was acquired in 1929 by Joan Whitney Payson, one of the greatest American collectors of the 20th century.
She grew up in a world filled with art.
She asked her parents for a Degas for her 18th birthday. Her aunt was Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney, who founded the Whitney Museum of American Art. In 1962, she co-founded the New York Mets, making her the first woman to operate a major American sports team.
Femme au Lilas was Pastor Joan's daughter, Lorinda de Roulet, who inherited her mother's love of art and philanthropic spirit.
3 remarkable women.
One painting, nearly a century in the same family.
Renoir once said, "The simplest subjects are eternal." Whether she is called Venus or Nini, you can invent nothing better.
Nothing is less real than realism. It is only by selection, by elimination, by emphasis, that we get at the real meaning of things. It's as if my mind creates shapes that I don't know about. I get this shape in my head, and sometimes I know what it comes from, and sometimes I don't.
Mark Rothko's number 15, Two Greens and Red Stripe, painted in 1964, belongs to a pivotal moment in the artist's career, created on the heels of his Seagram murals and just before his Rothko Chapel commission. A luminous field of green opens into a space of stillness, depth, and emotional intensity. A charged band of red emanates from the center. Here, color is never merely seen, but felt. The painting captures Rothko in transition, balancing radiance and restraint, luminosity and gravity, while moving toward the increasingly contemplative works that would come to define his later years. Agnes Gund visited Rothko's studio in 1967, where she selected the work at his personal recommendation. It remains one of only 3 examples still held in private hands that was originally acquired from Rothko himself. Monumental yet intimate, it remains one of Rothko's most profound invitations to look, feel, and contemplate.
The king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. A voice, a movement, a shockwave through American life. And Andy Warhol knew exactly what he was looking at. Not simply a star, but the most recognizable rhythm in the world. Double Elvis is Warhol capturing fame at full voltage. A cowboy, a movie star, a rock and roll god, an American myth with a pistol drawn. This was one of Warhol's great breakthroughs, making painting move like music, repetition like a chorus, rhythm like a backbeat, fame on loop. Today, Double Elvis remains one of the most iconic images of the 20th century, immortalized by the artist who turned icons into eternity.
In 1957, Cy Twombly left New York for Rome, immersing himself in a city layered with myth, history, and ruin. In Untitled 1961, gesture becomes inscription, mark becomes memory. Graffiti-like lines move across the surface, echoing ancient walls, fragments of text, and traces of the past. Created at the height of his Roman period, the work draws on classical mythology and Mediterranean history, a convergence of past and present where abstraction meets antiquity, alive with the enduring presence of history.
She is the culmination of 500 years of portraiture. This is Roy Lichtenstein's Anxious Girl. The female figure stands at the center of Western art, painted again and again by the world's most renowned masters, and housed in the permanent collections of the world's greatest museums. Lichtenstein's 1964 painting captures the enduring image of women fixed in our collective memory. These are the iconic faces that have shaped the last 5 centuries of culture, beauty, strength, power, and history. While these preceding portraits will remain on the halls of these institutions, Anxious Girl, which has never before been exhibited, emerges onto the market for the first time.
Aggie truly believed that art can heal our most painful wounds.
I needed to be where the art was, where Rauschenberg was, where Ellsworth was.
You've had a decade-long relationship with artists.
I love knowing artists because you see the artwork as it develops.
Welcome to my studio.
Geniuses aren't born, they're made. She wants to be part of that making.
I love to live with things because I can see the works in different lights. Every citizen benefits from art. So many of my things have gone to museums. I joined the Painting and Sculpture Committee of MoMA in '68. In '91, I became president.
She has been in the vanguard for more than 3 decades.
She is helping to usher in the 21st century.
Aggie has always been there for the new kind of art.
Everyone else catches up quite a bit later.
She wants to make sure that we have diversity.
Aggie didn't just change MoMA. She changed the world.
In '77, they were dumping all the arts from the public schools. We had to do something about it.
Over 1 million children have been enriched by Studio in a School,
which brings working artists into public schools.
She understands that art makes it possible for empathy. Without empathy, there is no justice.
Aggie Gund stunned the art world when she sold Masterpiece, a 1962 painting by Roy Lichtenstein for $165 million to combat mass incarceration.
It is truly singular to assemble a collection of this caliber and use it to enact meaningful change.
She sold what she loved most to take action.
One of the great firefighters for justice in America.
I didn't much imagine anything except probably having children.
She has broken the code of the housewife.
Arts lover,
philanthropist,
extraordinary
soul mother,
whose dimensionality is much fuller than any one place.
Her name is Agnes Gund.
Before this, beauty was figurative. Forms were reduced. Figures were reconsidered, but always remained. With Pollock, everything changed.
Doesn't make much difference how the paint is put on, as long as something's being said.
No eyes to look into, no stories to tell, no titles to reference. Just energy, rhythm, and motion. No frame to contain his gesture. Just action, visceral and raw. Painting was reinvented. Tradition was broken. Culture was redefined. A memory arrested in space. Jackson Pollock's number 7A, from the Private Collection of S.I. Newhouse.
What's so amazing about Mr. Newhouse's collection is that each work of art is from the seminal moment for that artist's career, that movement. It's no exaggeration that the three early works by Picasso fully trace the genesis of Cubism. From 1907, the first work is a study for the Demoiselle d'Avignon, the signature masterpiece of Cubism. The second in 1909, when Picasso translates Cubism into 3 dimensions in Tête de Fernande. And then finally in 1913, after he's finished analytical Cubism, where he was breaking the image down and flattening the picture plane, here he rebuilds it and reinfuses color. Where Picasso was breaking the form down into its component pieces, Brancusi was simplifying, he was reducing, but there was always a oneness and a purity. The Danaïde is the birth of modern sculpture. It's 1913. Brancusi had been apprenticing for Rodin 6 or 7 years before, doing much more naturalistic, 19th century, more backward-looking sculpture, and this is an entirely new idiom that opened the way to everything that came after. In the same way that Picasso's breaking things apart in Cubism and taking it into individual pieces, Miro is doing portraiture by organs, the 2 breasts, the ear, the heart. He's telling a different kind of story. The mistake people make about Pollock's art is they think it is completely chance or random, whereas it took an extreme control of medium, of form, to achieve what he achieved. He was able to create works of unsurpassable beauty. He reinvented easel painting. He created his own door and he walked through it. John's is an art about art. He starts with an image that you think you know. He takes your eye as far as we're willing to go. As it radiates outward, you discover that the concentric lines are in fact negative space. It's the absence of paint, with vertical strokes, which draws your eye down to the lower edge, as if to remind you that you're looking at a painting. Warhol's breaking down what it is to paint in the most mass-produced, diagrammatic way, with the erasure of the artist's hand to the last step. Each one of the 16 works of art in this selection is a masterpiece of its own kind, but together it tells you the story of art history from 1907 to 1962. Each moment, each work of art is the first and the best and the most essential.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to Christie's for the sale of the Private Collection of S.I, Newhouse. I'm Adrian Meyer and we're delighted to have all of you with us here tonight at Rockefeller Center and joining us online from across the world for this historic evening. Tonight, Christie's is honored to present masterpieces from the collection of S.I Newhouse, one of the most admired collectors and cultural figures of the 20th century, and to continue our partnership with his estate. Across decades, Mr. Newhouse collected with the instinct of a publisher, the eye of a curator, and the conviction of a true patron of modern art. These works not only represent the best of each artist, but also the most seminal and essential moments in the artist's career, and indeed in the history of modern art, from the genesis of Cubism to the beginning of pop. Before we begin, please remember that the purchase price payable is the sum of the final bid plus the buyer's premium and all applicable sales or use taxes. Bidders should note that the auctioneer may open the bidding on any lot below the reserve by placing a bid on behalf of the seller. I, as the auctioneer, may continue to bid on behalf of the seller up to the amount of the reserve, either by placing consecutive bids or by placing bids in response to other bidders. The sale website includes symbols and notices for any lot subject to a guarantee, fully or partially financed by a third party. For more information and full details of buyer's premium rates, conditions of sale, and all catalog symbols, please see the sale catalog on christies.com. And with that, we shall begin with lot number one, the superb Cubist Picasso, shown on the screen, one of his most seminal Cubist works to be offered at auction in a very long time, and formerly owned by Paul Éluard. And we shall start here at $4 million, $4,200,000, at $4,500,000, $4,800,000, at $5 million with Vanessa Fusco, the head of department here, at $5 million in the first telephone, at $5 million, $5,500,000, $6 million right away, at $6 million with Vanessa on the first telephone, at $6 million. It is here with you for now, at $6 million with Vanessa, ahead of all of you in the room, at $6 million on the telephone, at $6 million for the $6,500,000 with Marielos now, at $6,500,000 with Marielos, at $6,500,000 in a new place. $6,500,000, it is still here, at $6,500,000, $6,800,000 perhaps, at $6,500,000. It is here for the first lot of the evening sale. $6,800,000, is that a $6,800,000? Yes. At $6,500,000 with Marielos, at $6,500,000 here, at $6,500,000, $6,800,000 in the room in a new place, at $6,800,000 against both of you now. $7 million, at $7 million now, at $7 million. Back with Marielos. Next is 7,200,000 for any of you in the room, at $7 million with Marielos. 7,200,000, at $7,200,000 now, at $7,500,000, at $7,500,000. With Marielos now, at $7,500,000 with Marielos, at $7,500,000. At $7,500,000, it is still here with you, against your front, at $7,500,000, $7,800,000 in a new place in the room, $8,200,000, at $8,200,000 now, $8,500,000, $8,800,000, at $8,800,000, $9,000,000, $9,200,000. At $9,200,000, $9,500,000, $9,800,000, $10 million, $10,200,000, at $10,200,000, $10,500,000, $10,800,000, at $11 million, and $2, and $5, at $11,500,000. With Marielos for now at $11,500,000 against both of you in the room and you, Vanessa, at $11,500,000. At $11,500,000. For the first lot of the Newhouse collection, we can try $11,800,000 if you wish. At $11,500,000, still here with you. $11,800,000. $12 million. At $12 million, still here with you. At $12 million. For the Picasso, formerly owned by Éluard, at $12 million with you here against you, Vanessa and Sian, at $12 million, and against you up front, at $12 million. We could try $12,200,000 if you wish. At $12 million, are we really sure? At $12 million, at $12 million, no regrets. At $12 million, are we really sure? Selling then to Maria's phone for $12 million, fair warning, last chance. At $12 million, last chance, and selling to Maria's phone at $12 million, at $12 million, sold to you to paddle 1764. Thank you for your bids. On to lot number 2, Tête de Femme de Fernand, portrait of Fernand, this extraordinary sculpture, perhaps one of the greatest Cubist sculpture ever made by the artist, most of which in public institutions today, the Met, the Art Institute in Chicago, the National Gallery, and for this sculpture formerly in the René Gaffé collection, let's start here at $28 million, at $28 million, at $28 million, $30 million, at $30 million, at $30 million, $32 million, at $32 million, at $35 million, with Alex Rutter, our global president here in New York, at 35, at $35 million here, at 35 million, 36 million, at 36 million now, 37 million, at 30, no, it's back here on the phone with Alex Rutter at 37 million. 38 million, 39 million, at 39 million for the Tête de Fernand with Alex Rutter's telephone. At 39 million, it is with you for now. I'm going to sell it at $39 million, are we sure? And selling then to Alex against all the telephones here at $39 million, fair warning to the other telephones and the room. 40 million in a new place with Marielos. $500,000. At 40,500,000. Would you like 41, Mahia? At 40,500,000. 41 million. 500,000. At 41,500,000. With you, Alex. And selling then, no regrets, Mahia, at $41,500,000. Going to Alex Rutter's telephone, the Tête de Fernand, at $41,500,000. Sold to you to paddle 1792. On to lot number 3, L'Homme à la Guitare, 1913 composition, prime example of synthetic cubism, and for the very first time at auction, and formerly in the Gertrude Stein collection after being with MoMA for decades. And let's start here at 24, 26, 28 million, 30 million, at $30 million now. 31 million with Max Carter, our global champion for 2021, at 31 million, at $31 million here on a first telephone, at 31 against all of you here, at 31 million, at 31 million, 32 million, at 33 million, at 34 million, 35 million, at 35 million then, with you, Max, at $35 million. Ahead of all of you here in the room, at 35 million for the Cubist Picasso. Ahead of all of you in the room for the ex-MoMA painting, it is a great one, at 35 million, and selling to you then, Max, for $35 million. Fair warning to all of you online and in the room, at $35 million. Last chance, at $35 million. Going to you, Max. 35 it is. Sold, 35.
Thank you, sir. 71.37.
71.37. Lot number 4, the Danaïde. Lot number 4, Nikon of modern art for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen. This portrait of his muse, Margaret Pogani, perhaps one of the most emblematic sculptures of the 20th century, offered for you this evening, other versions of which are at the Tate, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, the Centre Georges Pompidou. And we should start here at $82 million, at $82 million, at $82 million, at $82 million, $84 million, at $84 million, $86 million, at $86 million now. $88 million with Maria-Los, the head of client advisory, at $86 million here with you for now, at $88 million, at $88 million with Maria-Los, at $88 million, at $88 million with you, Maria, at $90 million, at $90 million now, 91 million, at 92 million, 93 million, back with Maria, at 93 million for the Nanaid, at 93, at $93 million. With Maria-Los now, at $93 million, with Maria, ahead of you here in the room, for the Danaid, at $93 million, fair warning, I'm going to sell it, at $93 million, selling the Brancusi to Maria-Los's telephone for $93 million. Last chance on the telephones against you, Catherine and Max, and selling the Brancusi for $93 million. Sold 93 to panel 1793. On to lot number 5, the Mondrian, 1921, one of the finest examples of that year, most of which are in museums here again, and formerly owned by MoMA curator James Sweeney. And let's start here at 24, 26, 28 million, at $28 million, 30 million with Ada Tsui. Welcome, Ada, at $30 million, with Ada Tsui at 30 million. From the Hong Kong office at 30 million, with Ada Tsui, it is for you for now, at 30 million, 32 million, at 32 million now, 33 million, at 33, no, it's back with Ada's phone, at 33. 34 million in a new place, welcome Mia, at 34 million now. At 34. With Mia, against you Ada, at 34 million. At 34. At $34 million. With you, Mia, Ada, at $34 million. No, at 34 million. It is still here with you. At 34 then, and selling to Mia's telephone, the Mondrian, ahead of you in the room, at 34 million. Sold to you to panel 1773. Lot number 6, the portrait de Madame K by Miro, wonderful example of surrealism, period painted the same year as the Surrealist Manifesto by André Breton in 1924, and formerly owned by Max Ernst. And for this extraordinary example, let's start here at 14 million, 15 million, $16 million, 17 million, at 17 million, 18 million with Sian Chotko at 18 million here on the first telephone, at $18 million. At 18, it is with you for now, at 18 million, 19 million, 20 million, back with you, Sian, no, it's with Sian now, at $20 million, at 22 million, 24 million, at 24. Isa, what should we do? It's at 24 million. With Sian Chotko, against you, at 24 million, we sure? 26 million in a new place, back with Maria-Los, who's on fire tonight, at 26 million. At 26 million now. Would you like 28, Sian? At 26 million. With Maria, at $26 million. At 26, it is for you for now, at $26 million, ahead of you in the room, at 26 million. 28 million in a new place in the room, at 28 million. 30 million, 32 million, 34 million, 36 million, 38 million, 39? Would you like 39? At 38 million. With Mahia, one more, 39, yes, 39 million. 40 million. 41. At 41 million. 42 million. 43 million. 44 million. 44 million. We could try 45. It is with you otherwise. At 44 million. 45 million. 46 million. 46 million. With you, Mahia, then, and selling to Mahia's phone for 46 million. Fair warning to the room and the phones. Selling Madame K for $46 million. Sold to you to panel 1853. Bravo. On to lot 7, the Matisse from 1938. Wonderful composition by the artist, executed upon his return from the islands, and which was on extended loan at the Art Institute of Chicago for over 2 decades. And let's start here at $20 million, at 20 million, 22 million, at 22 million, 24 million, at 24 million, 26 million with Ada Tsui. Welcome back, Ada. At 26 million, at 26 million, 28 million with Rebecca Young from the Shanghai offices. 29 million, of course, at 29. At 29, Hong Kong against Shanghai. What should we do, Rebecca? At 29 million now. At 29 million. At 29 million, it is still here with you. At 29 million, I can't hear those numbers, Rebecca, try 30. At 29 million, it is here with you. At $29 million against all of you. At 29 million, with you, Ada. At 29 million. At 29 million, you were saying? What were you saying? At 29 million. Rebecca? At 29 million. Against both of you? Do you want to try 500? You really want to try 500? Rebecca. At 29 million. With you then? Rebecca? 500,000, of course. At 29 million, 500,000. At 29 million, 5. Ada. We try. At 29 million, 5. At 29 million, 5. Back with Rebecca, Ada, for 29 million, 5. Are you sure? At 29 million, 5. It is for you now, Rebecca. Against you, Catherine and Sarah. The Matisse at $29,500,000. Fair warning to the other phones. I'm going to have to sell it. At $20,500,000. Last chance, Ada. No regrets. It's the only one of the sale. And selling at $29,500,000 to Rebecca's phone at $29 million, 5. Congratulations, panel 1884. Lot number 8, ladies and gentlemen, the Jackson Pollock, a monument of modern art, the largest dripping in private hands ever to be offered at auction, and for the first time on the market, on the public market, for you this evening. Offered here at Christie's at Rockefeller Center, and we shall start here at $82 million, at $82 million, at $82 million, 84 million, at $84 million, at $84 million, at $84 million, 86 million, at $86 million now, at 86 million, 88 million, at $88 million now, 90 million with Sarah Friedlander, at 90 million, at $90 million now, 92 million in a new place, 94 million, at 94 million, at 94 million, back with Sarah, the chairman of 2021 in the Americas, against you, Rachel, 96 million, 97 million, 98 million on a third telephone now with Alex Rotter against both of you at 98 million. At 98. 100 million. At 100. It's already 100. We can try 102. 101 million against both of you. At 101 million, against you, Rachel, and against you, Sarah, for the Pollock. At 101 million. At 101 million, for the Pollock. Against you, Sarah, and Rachel. 102 million. 103 million in a new place against the three of you now, at 103. 104 million, 105 million, 106 million, 107 million. That's a first. At 107. Would you like 108 million? Would you like 110? It's only starting. 109 million. 110 million. 11 million. I'm going to stop the millions. At 111. Would you like 112? At 111 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16 million, 117, 118, 119, 120, 21, 122, 23, 24, 25, yes, 126, 127, 128, 129, 130, try 32, Alex, at 130, 131. I won't complain. 132, 132, 133, 134, 135. 136, 137, 138, 139, yes? Around 40, 141, 142, 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, 53, at 153. Are we sure? At 153 million, 100% sure? at $153 million for the Pollock. With Alex Roth's telephone and selling Last Chance at 100. I'm waiting. I'm seeing those hands. It's wonderful. At 153 million. No regrets. At 153. With Alex Roth's telephone. 154 million in a new place. With Anna Maria Celis, the head of department here in New York, at 154. 155. At 155 million. Anna Maria, no, it is still with you then, Alex, against 4 other bidders and selling the dripping here at Christie's, at Rockefeller, for $155 million. Are we sure? Fair warning and selling. 156 million. 157. No, 100% sure. And selling then for $157 million to Alex Roth's telephone and selling the Pollock. Congratulations. $157 million. To Paddle 1889, congratulations and thank you to all the bidders. Moving on to lot number 9, La Femme Enceinte, this superb sculpture by Picasso, conceived in 1950. Only 3 versions, one of which is in another public museum and previously owned by MoMA. And we should start here at $14 million, $15 million, at $15 million, $16 million. Welcome, David. At $16 million now with David Clivick, $17 million. At $17 million, $18 million back with David at $18 million. I know. $18 million, $19 million, at $19 million. In the room now, at 19. Against you, Olivier, at $19 million in the room. At $19 million. At $19 million. It is here in the room. Are we sure? For you then, I'm going to sell it at $19 million. La Femme Enceinte. Fair warning to the rest of the room. At $19 million. Last chance online and to the phones at $19 million. Congratulations. Paddle 1, 2, 3. On to lot 10, the Bacon. And coming from the famed Blakehead series, other versions of which are the Tate and MoMA. And let's start here at $2 million, $2 million, $2 million, $4, at $2,400,000, $2,600,000 with Page, the co-head of sale, at $2 million, $6 now, $2 million, $8 in the room. Welcome, sir. At $2 million, $8 in the back, $3 million, at $3 million, $3 million, $2. With you, Rachel, you're back at $3 million, $2 now against both of you. $3 million, $3 in a new place. At $3 million, $3 on the Bacon, yes, against the 4 of you now. At $3 million, $3, next is $3.5, ideally. At $3 million, $5. With Julia, yes, $3 million, $5. Back with you. Thank you, Julien Pradel, the president of the Christie's US. At $3 million, $5. With you, $3 million, $6. Would you like $3.8? At $3 million, $6. $3 million, $8. $4 million. $4 million, $2 in a new place now. At $4 million, $2 against the 5 of you. At $4 million, $2 here on the aisle against all of you. At $4 million, $2. Would you like 4.5, Edmond? At $4 million, $2. At $4 million, $2, then it is with you. Edmond, try 4.4, perhaps. At $4 million, $2, selling otherwise to the room. Edmond, 4.4, yes, no. At $4 million, $2, it is here and selling at $4 million, $200, $4 million, $3. Would you like 4.4? $4 million, $4. At $4 million, $4. $4 million, $5. For 6. At $4,500,000. Still here? Now, 4.5. Do you want 4.6? $4 million, $6. for 7, for 8. It's still in the room at 4,800,000. Against you, Edmond. Against you, Elio. At 4,800,000. And selling it more. Last chance, you will try 4.9. Selling otherwise. To the room at 4,900,000. For the bacon at $4,900,000. No, 4,800,000 it was. Yes, 4,800,000. At 4,800,000. Sold to you, panel 1, 2, 3. On to lot 11. The Rauschenberg, 1955, coming from the combined series, the majority of which are housed in museum collections today. And let's start here at 3,500,000, 3,800,000, at 3,800,000, 4 million. Welcome back, Rachel. At $4 million now, 4,200,000. 4,500,000, would you like 4,800,000? 4,800,000 in the room. 5 million, would you like 5,500,000? At 5 million, 5,200,000 perhaps. At 5 million it is here, 5,200,000. 5,200,000 where? Nick. 5,000,001 here. Would you like 5,200,000? At 5,000,001 it's in the room. At 5,000,001 for you then, for now, at 5,100,000. Against the telephones at 5,200,000. 5,300,000. 5,400,000. 5,500,000. 5,600,000. No, at 5,600,000 then, with Marielos against you, sir, and selling the combine at $5,600,000, no regrets, at 5,600,000, going to Marias's phone. Yes? No? We're waiting. At 5,600,000, still with you, Maria. Yes? No? At 5,600,000. 5,700,000. 5,800,000. No, thanks for your bids. And selling to Mahia's phone for 5,800,000. Sold to panel 1758. Lot 12. Figure number 2, the Jasper Johns, from his famous number series, with a wonderful paper and canvas collage with encaustic. And let's start here at $5 million, $5,500,000. At $5,500,000, $6 million with Joanna Flam, of course, here at $6 million. At $6 million on the first telephone. At $6 million. At $6,500,000. $7 million. Nope, back with you then at $7 million. With the Jasper Johns at $7 million. $7,200,000 in a new place with Giovanna Patazzoni, chairman of Christie's Europe, at $7,200,000. At 7,200,000. No, it is for you then, for now, at $7,200,000 on a new telephone and selling at $7,200,000. Going to you, Giovanna, at 7,200,000. Sold to panel 1762. On to lot 13, Great Target from his emblematic Target series, 1958, and previously only owned by one other collector, Iliana Sonnabend. And we shall start here at $11 million, $12 million, $13 million, at $13 million. $14 million, back with Joanna Flam's telephone, at $14 million, at $14 million, at $15 million. $16 million, $17 million, $18 million, at $18 million, 500,000 in a new place. Back with you, Alex. At 18,500,000. It's against you, Jonah, and the room. At 18,500,000. Are we all through? 19 million. Welcome back. At 19 million. 500,000. 20 million. 21. At 20 million.
Not that easy every time.
Make it look easy.
500, please.
At 20 million, 5. 21 million. At 21. 500. 22 million. 500. 23 million. 500. 24 million. 500. No, you're trying. You're trying. You're trying. It's still with you then at 24 million. At 24 million, try again. At 24 million. It's still with you here at $24 million against you, Connor, Anna Maria, and Keith for 22, 24, 250. Would you like 24.5? Yes, 24,500,000 at 24,500,000. No, thanks, Alex. And selling to you, sir, then, for $24,500,000. The target going away, Alex. No regrets. At 24.5. Last chance, Alex. 24.5. Sold to paddle 193. Alley Hoop, lot 14, the 1958 wonderful collage by Jasper Johns, previously owned by Rauschenberg, and included in the famous 1974 Pop Art show at the Whitney. And let's start you at $3 million, $3,200,000, at $3,200,000, at $3,200,000, $3,500,000, back with John Flum's phone, at $3,500,000, at $3,800,000, at $3,800,000, $4 million. At 4,200,000 now in the room against all of you here, with you here, against you, Jonah, at 4,200,000. Would you like 4.5? At 4,200,000. With the gentleman here in the room. And selling then to you, 4,500,000 at 4,500,000. At 4,500,000. Would you like 4.8, sir? At 4,500,000, it's against you. I'm going to sell it. At 4,500,000, one more. At 4,500,000 then. With the gentleman in the aisle, one more. 4,800,000. 4.6? 4,600,000. Would you like 4.8? 4,700,000. At 4,700,000. No, at 4,700,000, it is for you then. Last chance. And selling, alley-oop, for 4,700,000 to you to paddle 1, 2, 3. On to lot 15, Voodoo Lily, this very early seminal work by Lichtenstein, 1961. One of only two black and white versions, the other one being at the Broad Collection. And let's start here at 3,500,000, 3,800,000, at 3,800,000, 4 million. Welcome back, Ada. At 4 million, 4,200,000, at 4,200,000, at 4,200,000. Now it's against you, 4,500,000, at 4,500,000. No, at 4,500,000. With you, Ada, on the telephone ahead of you in the room, at 4,500,000. Last chance of the other phones, at $4,500,000. We're through. On Ada's phone, last chance at $4,500,000. 1797. On to lot 16, the last lot of the Newhouse collection, ladies and gentlemen, Do It Yourself, included in the 1989 MoMA retrospective of the artist and part of the rare series of only 5 paintings. And let's start here at 14 million, 15 million, 16 million, 17 million, at $17 million now. 18 million with Alex Rotter at 18 million. At 19 million, of course, at 19 million. At 19 million to get you 20 million. At 20 million now. Back with Alex at 20 million. It's against you, with you, Alex, at 20 million. At 20 million. 22 million in a new place. At 22 million. At 22. No, it is for you, sir, at 22 million, are we sure? Against you, Connor and Jesse, at 22 million. Fair warning to the rest of the room. The last lot of the Newhouse collection, selling to the gentleman in the room at $22 million. Congratulations to you, panel 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation in this sale. Thank you. Bravo.
She is the culmination of 500 years of portraiture. This is Roy Lichtenstein's Anxious Girl. The female figure stands at the center of Western art, painted again and again by the world's most renowned masters, and housed in the permanent collections of the world's greatest museums. Lichtenstein's 1964 painting captures the enduring image of women fixed in our collective memory. These are the iconic faces that have shaped the last 5 centuries of culture, beauty, strength, power, and history. While these preceding portraits will remain on the halls of these institutions, Anxious Girl, which has never before been exhibited, emerges onto the market for the first time.
In 1957, Cy Twombly left New York for Rome, immersing himself in a city layered with myth, history, and ruin. In Untitled 1961, gesture becomes inscription, mark becomes memory. Graffiti-like lines move across the surface, echoing ancient walls, fragments of text, and traces of the past. Created at the height of his Roman period, the work draws on classical mythology and Mediterranean history, a convergence of past and present where abstraction meets antiquity, alive with the enduring presence of history.
Good evening and welcome back to Christie's for our 20th century evening sale put together by my colleagues Rachel White-Young and Paige Kesterman. I'm delighted to be auctioneer together with my colleague David Clivert-Deswan, who will conduct the second part. We are honored to have been entrusted with the collection of Agnes Gund, as well as the collection of Lorenda Payson de Roulet. Tonight's auction will also feature property from the collection of Susan Dixon, the collection of Marilyn Harrison, the Joanna Carter collection, but also property from the Newman family collection, the Rab Goldberg collection, the O'Valley family collection, the Diana and David Goldsmith collection, and finally, the Kawamura Memorial DIC Museum of Art. Before we begin, please remember that the purchase price payable is the sum of the final bid plus the buyer's premium and all applicable sales or use taxes. Bidders should note that the auctioneer may open the bidding on any lot below the reserve by placing a bid on behalf of the seller. I, as the auctioneer, may continue to bid on behalf of the seller up to the amount of the reserve, either by placing consecutive bids or by placing bids in response to other bidders. The sale website includes symbols and notices for any lot subject to a guarantee, fully or partially financed by a third party. In addition, each of the following lots has a guarantee fully or partially financed by a third party who may be bidding on the lot and may receive a financing fee from Christie's, lot 25 and 64. For more information and full details of buyer's premium rates, conditions of sale, and all catalogue symbols, please see the sale catalogue on christies.com. And with that, let's begin with Picasso's portrait of Jacqueline, lot number 1, a superb work coming from a private collection where it has been for over 2 generations, shown here on the screen with a wonderful presence. 1969, and a lot of interest, of course. And let's start at 850, 950, 1 million, at 1 million 1, 1 million 2, 1 million 3, 1 million 4, 1 5, at 1 million 5, would you like 1 6? At 1 million 5 on the second telephone, at 1 million 5 now. At 1 million 6 in a new place, would you like 1 7? 1 million 7 against many people. At 1 million 7, who will say 1 8? At 1 million 8, 1 million 9, 2 million, 2 2. At 2 million 2, with the fourth bidder here, at 2 million 2, 2 million 3, would you like 2 4? At 2 million 3 with Olivier Camus, at 2 million 3 now in a new place, at 2 million 3 with Olivier Camus, at 2 million 300,000, are we sure? For the Picasso portrait of Jacqueline, at 2 million 300,000. Fair warning, everyone else, including you, Nick and Rebecca, at 2 million 3. No, for you then, and selling to Olivier's phone at $2,300,000, sold to paddle 1826. Lot 18, L'Atelier, 1955. This wonderful Picasso previously in the Douglas Cooper collection. A beautiful composition shown here. And let's start here at 2,200,000, 2,004,000, 2,600,000, somewhere here. At 2,006,000. Who said bidding? At 2,006,000. Here in the room at 2,006,000. Welcome to you. At 2,008,000 with Chie. At 2,008,000 now with Chie. At $2,800,000 with Chie Kawasaki. 3 million. Welcome back. At 3 million. Is that a bid? Yes. 3 million. At 3 million. At 3 million now. 3,200,000. 3,500,000, yes, we say 3,500,000. Yes, 3,500,000. At 3,500,000. At 3,500,000. It's against the 5 of you. At 3,800,000. No, are we sure? At 3,800,000. We can try 3,900,000. Wait. 3,900,000. 4 million. No, at 3,900,000. It's already taken up front. Would you like 4? No, at 3,900,000. Up front, 4 million. Back with Vanessa Fusco. 4,001,000. At 4,001,000. 4,002,000. At 4,002,000. 4,003,000. At 4,003,000. 4,004,000. 4,005,000. At 4,005,000. At 4,005,000. 4,006,000. 7. At 4,007,000. 4,008,000. Do you want the size? At 4,009,000. At 4,009,000. 5 million. at 5 million. It's here, 5 million one. $5 million two. Formerly Douglas Cooper at $5,200,000 with a prestigious pedigree, fair one, $5 million three. At $5 million three now. $5 million four. At $5 million four for Letelier. At $5,400,000. 28 inches by 21. At $5,400,000. Ex-Douglas Cooper and selling, last chance, at $5,400,000 at 5 for $5,500,000. Back in a new place at 5.5. Would you like 5.6, Vanessa? At $5,500,000. With the gentleman on the aisle. At $5,500,000. Gonna have to sell it. $5,600,000. No, at $5,600,000 then. Back here with you, Vanessa, against both of you. At $5,600,000, are we sure? At $5,600,000. With Vanessa's phone, determined bidder against both of you, and selling at $5,600,000. Sold to panel 1756. Yes, you can, absolutely. At $5,600,000. Lot 19, ladies and gentlemen, the first work from the collection of the extraordinary Agnes Gund, which we're honored to offer this evening at Christie's, one of the greatest collector and world's philanthropist. And for the first lot of a collection, the wonderful Medici Princess Cornell box shown here on the screen from 1948. Let's start here at $2 million, at $2 million, $2 million two, $2 million four, at $2,600,000. Back with Alex Hotter. At $2 million eight with Utah next door. $3 million. At $3 million now. $3 million two. At $3 million two now with Utah next door from the Zurich office. At $3 million two now. At $3,200,000. $3,500,000 with Chie Kawasaki from our Tokyo office at $3,500,000. Would you like 3.8, Utah? No, at $3,500,000 then with you, Chie. At $3,500,000. At $3,500,000. $3,700,000. Would you like 4? It's at $3,700,000 now. At $3,700,000. $4 million. $4 million two. Would you like $4,500,000? Chie, it's against you now. At $4,500,000. $4,700,000. Would you like 5, Chie? At $4,700,000. $5 million. At $5 million. Would you like 5.2? At $5 million. $5 million two. Would you like 5.5, Chie? It's at 5.2 now, against you. At $5 million two. $5,500,000. $5,400,000. Would you like 5.6, Alex? 5.6. Would you like 5.8? At $5,600,000 now. Back with Alex. At $5,600,000 for the Cornell box. Chie, would you like 5.8? selling otherwise. The Cornell box at $5,600,000. One more cheer. Yes, $5,000,008. No? No. At 5.6 then, it's still yours, Alex. And selling. Are we sure, cheer? We're letting it go then. At $5,006,000, cheer. No more. And selling at $5,600,000 for you, Alex. Sold 5.6 to panel 7067. Lot 20, the superb 1961 Cy Twombly shown on the screen, simply one of his finest Roman pictures to come at auction. And let's start you at $30 million, at $30 million now, at $30 million, $31 million, at $31 million, $32 million, at $32 million, $33 million, at $33 million, $34 million, at $34 million, $35 million, with Sarah Friedlander at $35 million on the first telephone here, at 35, at $35 million, $36 million, at 36, yes, $37 million, at $37 million. For the Twombly, it is here with $38 million, $39 million, at $39 million. At $39 million then, it is here with you, Sarah. I'm going to sell it at $39 million for the Twombly, going to Sarah's telephone. Fair warning to the other phones here, on my right, and to the room, and selling the Twombly for $39 million, sold to panel 7083 for $39 million. Lot 21, ladies and gentlemen, Rothko's masterpiece shown here, simply chosen by the artist for Agnes Gund, and last seen in public half a century ago. And we shall start you at $60 million, at $60 million, at $60 million, $62 million, at $62 million, $64 million, $66 million, back with Sarah Friedlander, at $66 million for the Rothko, at $68 million, $70 million, at $70 million now, at $70 million, $72 million in a new place with Rachel, at $72 million, $74 million in a new place with Catherine Lassiter, our San Francisco representative here with us in New York, at $74 million, $76 million, $78 million, $80 million, $82, yes, $82 million, $83 million, $84 million, $85 million. Are we sure? At $85 million, Catherine? At $85 million. It is here with you, against you, Catherine, for now, at $85 million, ahead of all of you in the room. For the Rothko, at $85 million. With Rachel's telephone, and selling the Agnes Gund Rothko at Christie's for $85 million, fair warning to the room, and selling to you then for $85 million. Congratulations to panel 1891 for $85 million. Onto lot 22, the premier coming from the collection of Susan Dixon in Illinois and formerly owned by no else than Kai Butt himself. And for this beautiful 1878 composition, Let's start here at 4,200,000, 4,500,000, 4,800,000. At 4,800,000, 5,000,000, 6,000,000 right away with Giovanna Patazzoni ahead of you online. I saw you bid, but come back at 6,000,000 with Giovanna at $6 billion. It's against you online and against all the other telephones at 6,500,000 with Connor Jordan, Deputy Chairman of the department here. Welcome, Connor, at 6,500,000. Would you like $7 million in a new place? Welcome back, Ada, at 7 million on a third telephone. At $7 million now. At 7 million. At 7 million ahead of you online. At 7,500,000 with Patrick Saich from the London Client Advisory Department. At 7,500,000 on the fourth telephone now. At 7,500,000. At 7,500,000. 8 million with Maria Los on the fifth phone at $8 million now. With Maria at $8 million. Who will come back? 8,500,000. 8,800,000. 9 million. 9,200,000. 9,400,000. 9,400,000. 9,600,000. We provide entertainment as well. 9,800,000. 10 million. Try 10.5, Patrick, at 10 million. 10,500,000. 11 million. 500,000. 12 million. 500,000. 13 million. 500,000. 14 million. 500,000. 'Are we sure? At 14,500,000, do you want to try 8, Maria? At $14,500,000. Going to Patrick's phone at 14,500,000. With you, Patrick. Last chance. 15 million. 500,000. 1 more, Maya. At 15,500,000. You're pretty close. At 15,500,000. 16 million. 200,000 at 16.2. 16.5. At 16,500,000. Are we sure, Patrick? At 16,500,000, you could try 16.8. Selling otherwise to Maria's phone. No regrets. 4 million by Caillebotte, the Pommier, going to Maria's phone for $16,500,000. Fair warning and selling to Maria's phone. Sold to paddle 1769 for 16.5. Ladies and gentlemen, first picture from the collection of Lorinda Payson de Roulet, which we're honored to offer tonight. This extraordinary Renoir, perhaps the greatest to come up in decades at auction, portrait of his ultimate muse, Nini, and acquired a century ago by the family of the current owners. And for this very, very special picture, let's start here at $15 million, $16 million, $17 million, at $17 million, at $17 million, $18 million, at $18 million, $19 million, at $19 million, $20 million, with Vanessa Fusco, of course, at $20 million, at $20 million, at $22 million, $24 million. Against you, Elio, at $24 million now. At $24 million. At 24. With you, Vanessa. Against you in the room. At $24 million for the Renoir. At $24 million. At 24. It's against all of you in the room. At $24 million. At $24 million. Imogen and Utah. At $24 million. For the Whitney Renoir. Fair warning on the phones, and to all of you in the room, at $24 million. It is with Vanessa. I'm going to sell it at $24 million with Vanessa Fusco's phone. Last chance. Fair warning at $24 million. Are we sure? At $24 million. Going to you, Vanessa, at $24 million. Sold to PAL 7047. On to another muse, lot 24, Anxious Girl by Lichtenstein, from his most desirable series, and never exhibited, and for the first time, therefore, seen by the public at Christie's, 1964. And let's start here at $32 million, $33 million, at $34 million now. $35 million, back with Anna Maria Celis, the head of department here, at $35 million. At $35 million on the first telephone. At $35 million. At 35. $36 million. $37 million. At 37. With Anna's phone. At $37 million for the Liechtenstein. It is for you for now. At $38 million. $39 million, of course, at 39. One more. At $39 million. At $39 million for you for now. At $39 million for the Liechtenstein. At $39 million then. It is with you. Against you, Rachel, Joanna, and Nick at $39 million. Fair winning to the rest of the room. $500,000. With Alex Rotter at $39 million 5. At $39 million 5. No, at $39 million 5 with you, Alex. Against you, Anna, we sure? At $39,500,000. I'm going to sell it ahead of all of you in the room. The Anxious Girl, going to you, Alex, for $39,500,000. Sold to PAL 1799. The O'Keeffe from 1924. And let's start you at $5 million 5, at $6 million, $6,500,000, $7 million right away with Max Carter, at $7 million, at $7 million for the O'Keeffe, at $7 million now, at $7 million for the first time at auction, at $7 million, ahead of all of you in the room, at $7,500,000 in a new place. Welcome back, Catherine, at $7 million 5. No, at $7 million 5. With you then, at $7 million 5 with Catherine's telephone, ahead of all of you in the room, at $7 million 5. Yes, that's a bid. Yes, $8 million. Would you like 8.5, Catherine? Yes, $8,500,000. 8 million 8. With $9 million. At $9 million. $9 million 2. Would you like 9.5, Catherine? 9.5 million? At 9.5 million, with Catherine Lassiter. Would you like 9.8, Alex? Yes?
One more, 9.7.
9.7 million. Would you like 10, Catherine? At 9.7 million now? 10 million. No, at 10 million then. Going to you, Catherine. Fair warning to the room. At $10 million. 10,200,000. Back with Max Carter. $10.5? Would you like $10.5? $10.5 million. Would you like 10.8, Max? At $10.5 million. 10.6. Would you like 10.8, Catherine? This double-sided O'Keefe at 10.6 million. 10.8. Would you like to try 10.8? Yes, 10.8 million. At 10.8 million. No? Selling then to you, Catherine. I think this time it really is yours at $10,800,000 to paddle 1873. Yes, you can report a superb price for a superb picture. Onto the Manet, lot 26, coming from the collection of Marilyn Harrison, and basically from the rare peonies of the 1860 series, and the last one in private hands, and shown here on the screen. And let's start at 5 million, at 5,500,000, at 6 million. Welcome back, Chie. At 6 million, it is with you for now. At $6 million for the Manet. At $6 million. At 6 million, it is with you for now. At $6 million for the Manet. At 6 million. 6,500,000. 7 million. At $7 million. What should we do? It's back here with Chie Kawasaki on the telephone against Susonia Anissa at $7 million. Are we sure? At $7 million. Going to you then. Fair warning, Sian. At $7 million. Imogen? No? At $7 million, then selling to your telephone ahead of you in the room. The Manet for $7 million to paddle 70.45. Lot 27, the Matisse coming from the Joanna Carson collection, Nu Couché, conceived in 1927 and conceived during the lifetime of the artist. And let's start at 859.51 million, at 1,100,000, at 1,200,000 with Keith Gill, at 1,200,000, at 1,300,000 with Connor Jordan, 1,400,000. Was that 1,500,000, Connor? 1,500,000. At 1,500,000 now. Back with Connor Jordan at 1,500,000. 1,600,000 with Nick Sinque at 1,600,000 now. 1,700,000. Would you like 1,800,000? $1,800,000 with Mahelos at 1,800,000. Okay, so three of you at 1,800,000. 1,900,000. 2 million. At 2 million against both of you now. Would you like 2-2, Con? 2 million 1. 2 million 2. No, at 2 million 2 then. 2 million 3. 2 million 4. 2 million 5. 2 million 6. At 2 million 6. Where's Maya's phone? 2.7. 2.8. Are we sure? At 2 million 8. with my highest phone. Last one at 2.8 million for the Matisse bronze. Superb example, going away con at 2.8 million. Fair warning, and selling to my highest phone for 2.8 million. At 2.8 million. It is yours to panel 1787. Lot 28. Lot, I think so, yes, thank you, Nick. Lot 28, Les Quatre Danseuses, coming from the Rab Goldberg collection and in the same family for over half a century, shown here on the screen. And let's start here at 3.5 million, 3.8 million, at 3.8 million, 4 million, at 4.2 million with Michael Baptiste, at 4.2 million now. With Michael at 4.2 million, against you, Elio, at 4.2 million. For the Degas, at 4.2 million, and I can sell it at 4.2 million, at 4.2 million. With the first telephone here, 4 million, for what? 4.3 million, Emo, at 4.3 million. Against you, Michael. Would you like 4.4? Yes, 4.4 million. Would you like 4.5? No, at 4.4 million, back with Michael. Are we sure, Emo? And selling the Degas at 4.4 million. No regrets. At 4.4 million, the Degas is going to Michael's phone at 4.4 million. Sold to panel 1897 for 4.4 million. Until lot 29. The de Kooning, a beautiful composition of 1980, very large scale. And let's start you at 6.5 million, 7.5 million, at 7.5 million. 8 million with Emily Kaplan, the head of private sales here in New York, at $8 million. At 8 million with Emily, at 8 million, 8.5 million. At 8.5 million now. 9 million. 9.5 million. Back with Sarah now at 9.5. 10 million in the room with the gentleman at 10 million. At 10 million here, it's in the room, in a new place, at $10 million. At $10 million. With you here, in the room, at $10 million. 10.1 million with Sarah. Well done, Sarah, at 10 million one. She got it. At 10 million one, would you like 10.2 at this stage? At, are we sure? At 10 million one. Going back to Sarah's phone, are we really sure? At 10.1 million for the de Kooning. At 10 million one, and going here on the phone for $10.1 million. 10-1 it is. Paddle 1856. On to lot 30, coming from the legendary Newman family collection, the superb Ryman from 1978. And let's start you at 6 million, 6.5 million. At 7 million with Paul Nizam. Welcome, Paul, the head of the department in Paris. At $7 million, it is with you for now. At 7 million for the Robert Ryman. At 7.5 million. 8 million. At 8 million, it is with you, Paul. At $8 million. Ahead of all of you in the room. At $8 million. At 8 million, and selling it then to Paul's phone for $8 million. Are we all sure? At 8 million, it is for you, Paul. 8 million it is to panel 7054. On to lot 31. 31 for the double Elvis from his defining icon of an icon series and belonging to the Ferrous style of the series conceived for the 1963 exhibition. And let's start here at 15 million, $16 million, at 16 million, 17 million, at 17 million, 18 million now, at 19 million. Back with you, Rachel. Welcome back. At 19 million, it is with you for now, at 19, at $19 million. With you at 19 million, fair one at 20 million, 21 million, 22 million, 23 million, at 23 million. Back with you, Rachel, against you, Catherine and Max, at 23 million. Going to sell it at 23 million. Fair warning for the double Elvis. Going to the phone with you, Rachel, at $23 million. Sold to panel 7072. Onto lot 32, superb work from 1965 by Agnes Martin, shown on the screen, and sold to benefit the Collegial Museum. And let's start you at 5 million, at $5 million. $5,500,000 for Joanna Flower at $5 million, 6 million, at $6 million, at $6 million now. $6,200,000 back with you, Joanna, at $6 million, at $6,200,000. At 6 million two against you, Bea, at 6 million two for Agnes Martin, at 6,300,000 in a new place with Edmond Français, at 6 million three now, 6 million four up front. Welcome, madam. At 6 million four now. Would I 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. 6.8, 6.9, 7 million, 7.1, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, at 7 million 5. It is here. Are we sure? At 7 million 5, selling here to the lady in the room. At $7,500,000, last chance. At 7 million 5 with you, madam, and selling the Agnes Martin for 7.5 to panel 188. On to lot 33, Cherchez l'Aiguille, 1958, superb early John Mitchell, and they're only owned by 2 families until this day, and shown in her 1958 exhibition at the Centre Georges Pompidou. And let's start you at $8 million, $8,500,000, $9 million right away with Max Carter at 9 million, at 9 million against you, Laszlo, at 9 million, at 9,500,000. 10 million, at 10 million, back with Max Carter now, ahead of all of you in the room. The John Mitchell, at 10 million, and against you, Elio, at 10 million, at 10 million, Page, no, at $10 million. Fair warning then, and selling to Max Carter's phone, last chance of the room, for the Mitchell, at $10 million. Sold, 10 million. 7043. Lot 34, this superb early Miro portrait from his series of the Catalan portraits, 1918. And let's start you at 4 million 8, 5 million, at $5 million, at 5,500,000 now, at 6 million with Connor Jordan, of course, at $6 million here. No, it's on the phone, at 6 million, at 6 million. 6,500,000, 7 million, 7,500,000 against both of you at 7 million 5 now in a new place on the aisle at 7 million 5. Joe, try 7.8 at 7 million 5. It's selling otherwise to the gentleman here in the room at 7,500,000 for the Miro, one of the very rare Catalan portrait series. Connor, we show at 7,500,000, last chance, no regrets, and selling to you, sir, at 7 million 5, Connor. No, at 7.5 then. It is yours to panel 309. Onto the Matisse, lot 35, from the collection of Marilyn Harrison, 1947, painted in Vence. And let's start you at 859, 950, 1,011,000 at 1,100,000. At 1,100,000. At 1,001,000 against you, Edmond. At 1,002,000, yes, perhaps 1,002,000 with Edmond Français against all of you here for the Matisse. 1,003,000 with Sonia Roth. Alice, you're distracting Edmond. At 1,003,000, With you, Sonia, at 1,000,003, at 1,000,004. Back with Mahelos at 1,000,004. 1,500. Where's Sonia Roth? From the Los Angeles office here with us. 1,000,005, 1,000,006. Would you like 1,700? At 1,000,006 with Mahia. 1,000,007. 1,800. 1,900. 2 million. 2,200. 2,100. 2,200. 2,300. 2,400. 2,500. 2,600. 2,600,000 with Mahelos. At 2,600,000, Sonia, try 2,700 for this beautiful Matisse. At 2,600,000 to Maya's phone. At 2,600,000, 2,700,000. 2,800,000. One more, Sonia, at 2,000,008. 2,900,000. 3 million. At 3 million, 3,000,001. 3,200,000. At 3,000,002. Charmy, knock, no. At 3,000,002. 3,300,000. 3,500,000. Isa? At 3,000,005. 3,600,000. 3,800,000. At 3,000,008 then, we sure? And going to Mahia's phone, the Matisse. Last chance, Sonia, at $3,800,000. Are we sure? 3,850. And 50. 2,900,000. Are we sure? Yes. At 3,000,009 and going to Mahia's phone, one last try, selling otherwise. At 3,000,009, fair warning, Sonia, the Matisse going to Mahia's phone. Once again, sold 3,900,000 to paddle 1866. Lot 36, a very rare early 1907 Kandinsky shown on the screen. And let's start here at 4,200,000, 4,500,000, 4,800,000, 5 million at $5 million. 5,200,000 right away for Giovanna Pestazzoni at 5,200,000, at 5,500,000 with Eric at 5,500,000. Welcome, Eric, from the Hong Kong office at 5,500,000 now. 5,800,000 back with Alex Rothko against both of you at 5,800,000. Say 6, either of you. 6 million at 6 million. Would like 6,200,000. 6,200,000. Would like 6,500,000. 6,500,000. 6,700,000. Would you like 7, Eric? It's at 6,700,000 now. 7 million. Would you like 7,200,000, Alex? at 7 million then with Eric Chang's phone from the Hong Kong office, and selling the Kandinsky at $7 million. Last chance on the other phones. To Eric at $7 million. Fair warning to the room at $7 million. And selling to you, sold to paddle 1893. Lot 37 has been withdrawn. Onto lot 38, the Picasso from the Marilyn Harrison collection. Lot 38, and let's start at 850, 950, 1 million, 1 at 1,100,000, 1,000,002 with Connor Jordan. At 1,200,000, 1,003,000. Yes, no, yes, that's a bit. 1,003,000 in the room. 1,004,000. Would you like 1.5? At 1,004,000, it's here. In the back, at 1,004,000. Would you like 1.5? No, at 1,004,000 with you. 1,005,000 in a new place. At 1,005,000 against both of you. At 1,005,000 now. 1.6 on the phone against the 5 of you now. At 1,006,000. At 1 million, would you like 1.7? At 1,006,000 it is here. 1,007,000 on the phone somewhere here. Welcome, Bo. At 1,007,000 on a new phone now. At 1,700,000. 1.8 back with Max. At 1,008,000 now. 1.9 at 1,009,000. At 1,009,000 against both of you. 2, Bo, yes. At 1,009,000, it is here. Bo? No? At 1,009,000 with the gentleman here in the room. One more, Bo. At 1,009,000. 2 million. Would you like 2? At 2 million. One more. Or 2-1. At 2 million. Yes, 2-1. At 2-1. It is here. Would you like 2, Max? At 2,000,001. And selling to the gentleman in the room. Against you, Max. Rachel, Catherine, and Bo. At 2,100,000. Bo, give me a sign. Yes, no. At 2,000,001. And going to the room. No more. At $2,100,000. Sold to you to paddle 190. On to lot 39. Les Deux Femmes from 1930. And let's start you at 850, 950, at 950, $1 million. I heard, but I'll take 1 with the lady in the room. At 1,000,001 in the room. At 1,000,001 here in the room at 1. At 1,000,001, another one. 1,000,002. At 1,000,002, it's ahead of you in Florida online, but I'll take 1.3 against either of you with the gentleman for now. Would you like 1.3 online? 1,000,003 back with Bob. Would you like 1.4? 1,000,004. Come back online at 1,000,004. At 1,000,004. It's against you. Would you like to try 1.5 online? Selling otherwise to the gentleman here in the room at $1,400,000. Last chance to you online and Bo at 1,004,000. Try one more, Bo. At 1.4, 1,005,000. 1.6. At 1,006,000 and selling, Bo. It's against you, yes or no? At 1,006,000, try one more. At 1,006,000 and going to you, sir, for $1,600,000. Sold to paddle 190 for 1.6. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And it is now my pleasure to pass the gavel to my colleague David Clivig-Deswan. Thank you.
Great job, Adrian. Well done. Good evening, everyone. We're on to lot number 40. This is the Lee Krasner Lotus, large-scale picture from 1972. And let's open this at 1-1, 1-2, $1,300,000, 1-3, 1-4, 1-5, at $1,005,000 now. At $1,500,000, $1,600,000, with Michael here on the right at $1,006,000. Are we going on at 1.6? It's on my right with Michael and selling for $1,600,000. Giovanna, 1.6 is the bid. One more at $1,600,000. Fair warning, Gio, and fair warning to the room. 1,700,000. $1,800,000. Giovanna, your turn. at $1,800,000. Michael Baptiste has it. The Krasner, it's here for $1,800,000. 1.9 if you like. Geo? Fair warning. 1,900,000. At 1,900,000. With Geo now. 2 million? 1.9 is the bid. Two if you like. $1,950,000. It's that time of the evening. 1,950,000. Giovanna. I have to hurry you. $2 million. 2-1 is next, Michael. At $2 million. 2-1 if you like. You're out. Thank you for the bids. Gio, I'm selling to you. Are we all done? Last chance this side at $2 million. Here it is. 2 million to pedal 1829. Thank you. Lot number 41 is next. This is the De Kooning Untitled, number 16, acquired by the present owner in 2001. And here I can start at $5 million, 5.2, 5,400,000. At 5,400,000, 5,600,000, 5,800,000. At $5,800,000 now, at 5.8. Yes, $6 million in the room. At $6 million. Here in the room, at 6, ahead of all the phones. I have it here in the room, and I can sell for $6 million. Are we going on? At $6 million. The bid is here. I'm selling. All done for $6 million. That's yours. Congratulations. Pedal 278. On to lot number 42. This is the Magritte, the Three Graces, Break in the Clouds. This is from 1941. And here I can start at $4,500,000 for the Magritte. At $4,500,000. At 4.5. Are we going on? At $4,500,000, $4,800,000, $5 million. At $5 million. Holding there. At 5. $5,200,000. At $5,200,000 for the Magritte. At $5,200,000. Are we going on? For $5,200,000. Fair warning. At 5.2. All done. At $5,500,000. Thank you on the aisle. At 5.5. Connor. One more. At 5.5. You have it, sir. I can sell for $5,500,000. Are we all done? Last chance. It's here at 5.5. Sold to you, sir. Pedal 308. Thank you. On to lot number 43. This is the beautiful Andy Warhol, the Femme Fatale, the details of Renaissance paintings. This one from 1984. And I can open this at 3.8, $4,200,000. At 4,200,000. At 4.2, $4,500,000 with Isa. At 4,500,000. At 4.5, $4,800,000. At $4,800,000. Just ahead of you now, Isa. At 4.8, $5 million. At $5 million. This side with Isa. At $5 million. Are we going on? At 5 million. At $5 million. Here it is. Isa has it, and I can sell to Isa. 5.2. Let's try 5.2. At $5 million. 5,200,000. 5.2 is the bid. 5. Let's try 5.4. I just said no this side. Let's go in 200. You have to make a call? Make a call. At $5,200,000. 5.4 if you can. 5,400,000. With Alex. At 5.4. 5,600,000. 5-6 is the bid. Let's go hundreds now. 5-7. 5-8 if you like, Maria. 5-7 is the bid. And Alex Rotter has it. 5,800,000. 5,900,000. $6 million. This side. 6-1 if you like, Alex. That's 6,100,000. $6-1 is the bid. 6-2 if you like. 6-1. 6,200,000. For the Warhol, at 6-2. 6,000,003. Going on now at 6-3. 6-3. Maria. $6,400,000. This side, with Maria Loss, at 6-4. 6,005,000. It is. Your bid. 6-5. This side. 6-6. 6-7 is next. 6-7. That used to be a thing. 6-8. That's 6-8. 6-9. 7 million. Try 2, Alex, if you can. That's 7. 7-1. 7-1. 7-1. 7,200,000. 7,200,000. Alex. 7,003,000. 7-3. 7,004,000. Are you sure? You're out. Thank you for the bids, Alex. Selling to Maria for $7,400,000. All done. 7-4. Sold to you 1886. Thank you. That brings us to lot number 44. This is the Salvador Dali from 1956, acquired by the present owner in 2000. The Chair de Poule, Rhinocérontique. And let's open this at 3.5, 3.8, $4 million. At $4 million now. At $4 million for the Dali. At $4 million. For $4 million. 4,200,000 with you online. Thank you. At 4.2 with the online bidder in the Czech Republic. At 4.2, 4,500,000. At $4,500,000. 4.5. At 4,500,000. 4,800,000 with the online bidder at 4,800,000. At $4,800,000. The bid is online, ahead of the phones and the room. The online bidder has it for $4,800,000. Any advance? 4.8. Maria, Ollie. with you online at the moment at $4,800,000. $5 million. Maria Loss on the telephone at $5 million. Can we give the option of 5-2 online at $5 million? $5,200,000. 5-2 with you online. Thank you for the bid at 5-2. 5-5 is next. For the Salvador Dali at $5,200,000. There it is, with you. 5-2. 5-4. 5,400,000. Can we give the option of 5-6? Thank you. At $5,400,000. Maria Loss once more at 5-4. 5-6 if you like online. The bid is here. I'm selling at $5,400,000. You have it, Maria, $5,600,000. Just in time at 5-6. 5-6 is the bid. 5,600,000. Still with you online. Ahead of you, Maria, at 5-6. 5,700,000. 5,700,000. 5-8 if you like online. 5-7 is the bid. Thank you for the bids online. I'm selling to Maria for $5,700,000. Are we all done? Last chance. 5,800,000. Thank you. 5-8. For $5,800,000. Maria. 5,900,000. Let's round it up online at $5,900,000. 6 if you like. At 5-9. It's here for $5,900,000. Are we all done? 5-9. I'm selling. Thank you for the bids. Last chance. It's here. 5-9, that's yours. 1,887. Thank you. And lot number 45 is the Remedios Varo, this delicate 1956 gouache on board, which was acquired by the present owner in 1994. And here let's start at 900, 950, $1 million. At $1 million for the Varo now, $1 million. For $1 million. At $1 million. 1,100,000 with Arco. Arco is first at 1,000,001. For the Varo, 1,200,000 is bid online. At $1,200,000, 1,300,000. Arco's telephone at 1-3, 1,400,000. 1-4. The online bidder, pedal 3052, has it at the moment. 1,500,000. 1,600,000. 1,700,000. New place with Michael. 1-7. At 1-7, your bid, Michael, at 1-7. 1,800,000. 1-8. Just ahead of you now, Michael. 1,900,000. For the Varo from 1956. 1-9. Arco. $2 million. New place. Thank you, Anna Maria. At $2 million. New bidder with Anna Maria on this side. 2,100,000. 2-1. Anna Maria. 2-2 if you like. The bid is here. Michael has it for $2,100,000. 2,200,000. New place. Let's see whether Michael will give me 2-3. 2,300,000. 2-3. One more. You're bidding by text? Awesome. No? At 2,300,000. 2,400,000. 2-4 is here. Sir. Yes, 2-5. At 2-5. Any advance? Michael still has it at $2,500,000. Arco. Anna Maria. 2.5. For the Varo. One more. Are we all done? I'm going to sell at $2,500,000. I'm waiting. Yes, it's fine. 2,600,000. Catherine. I know. Let's see whether we get 2.7. It's Catherine's bid at 2.6, 2.7 if you like. At 2.6. Arco, Michael, Alex. At 2.6. Yes, 2,700,000. Back to you, Alex, and the text at 2,700,000. Catherine. 2.7. Any advance? Are we all done? At 2,700,000, 2,800,000. 2.8. With you, Catherine, at the moment. $2,800,000. 2,900,000. $3 million. Catherine's bid at 3. Are you out, Michael? Thank you for the bids. At $3 million. Arco, Alex. Fair warning then. 3,100,000. 3.1. 3,200,000. $3,300,000. 3,500,000. 3,500,000. Okay, you still in? At 3.5. 3,600,000, thank you. At 3,600,000. The beautiful Varo at $3,600,000. What do you think, Catherine? You're out, you're sure? Thank you for the bids. 3.6 then with Alex. Last chance Arco. All done this side. I'm selling at 3,600,000. Sold to puddle 1843. And next is lot number 46. This is the Cornell. And let's open this one at $1,900,000, $2,200,000 for the Cornell at $2,200,000. At $2,200,000. For the Cornell now at 2.2. At $2,200,000, $2,400,000. At $2,400,000. I'm at 2.4. Any advance now at 2.4. For $2,400,000. For the Cornell box at $2,400,000. Are we going on at 2.4? For $2,400,000. This widely exhibited piece at $2,400,000, $2,600,000, at $2,600,000 now. For $2,600,000, $2,800,000, at $2,800,000. Are we all through at $2,800,000? Are we all done? Fair warning here for $2,800,000. Pass at 2,800,000. And that brings us to lot number 47, the superb Rodchenko, this rare constructivist photo montage, 1930. And I can open this at $350,000, $380,000, $400,000. $420,000 with Sarah at $420,000, $450,000. Thank you, madam, in the room at $450,000. At $450,000. Ladies' bid at $450,000. At $450,000. Your bid, madam. $480,000 with Keith. I like your bidding style. Thank you so much. At $480,000 with Keith. There it is, $500,000. 550 is next. Yes? 550,000. Maria. At 550. 550. Keith? $600,000 new place with Otti. 650,000. That's $650,000. 700. That's $700,000. 750. For $750,000 with Maria. 800,000. 850,000. 900,000. 950,000. The Rodchenko at $950,000. $1 million. 1,100,000. $1 is the bid. Otti, 1,200,000. Thank you, Maria. You're sure? At $1,200,000. It's with you, Otti. Keith, are we out? At $1,200,000 then. Fair warning, selling to Ottavia for $1,200,000. Sold to pedal 1846. And we move next to lot number 48. Lot 48, the Calder. This graceful 1967 hanging mobile, the 3 polygons. And here we can start at $2 million, $2,200,000, $2,400,000, at $2,400,000. $2,600,000, thank you. $2,800,000 ahead of you, Nick. At $3 million is bid. It's with Nick at $3 million. 3.2 if you like in Canada. $3,100,000 I'll take, Ollie. At $3,100,000. At $3,100,000. With Ollie at 3.1. 3.2 if you like online. Here it is at $3,100,000 with Ollie Camoon. Nick, are you out? At $3,100,000. The bid is here, ahead of the room. Ollie has it. Fair warning online for $3,100,000. Sold to you, Ollie. Pedal 1826. And next is lot number 49, the Jackson Pollock. This pivotal 1944 work on paper, which was included in the 1967 Pollock retrospective at MoMA. And it's opened this at $1,900,000. At $1,900,000 for the Pollock now, $1,900,000. At $1,900,000. 1.9. Any advance at $1,900,000. Here we are at $1,900,000 for the Pollock. At $1,900,000. $2 million. $2,200,000. At $2,200,000. Any advance at 2.2. I'll wheel through at $2,200,000. Fair warning then at 2.2. Let's pass at 2.2. And that brings us to lot number 50A from the Diane and David Goldsmith collection. This important double portrait by Alice Neal depicting her daughter-in-law and first grandchild, this widely exhibited work from 1967, and I can open this at $850,000, $900,000, $950,000. At $950,000. There it is, $1 million, $1,100,000, $1,200,000, $1,300,000. How much? $1,300,000, thank you. Who's next? $1,400,000, $1,500,000 is here, 1.6. $1,600,000, 1.7. Thank you so much. At $1,700,000. 1.7, your bid. Any advance now? At 1.7. $1,800,000 with Isa, $1,900,000. At 1.9 for the Alice Neal. At 1.9, $2 million with Sonia, of course, at $2 million, $2,200,000. Are you sure? You look very sure. $2,100,000, $2,200,000, $2,300,000. Thank you, madam. At $2,300,000. Yes? $2,400,000, $2,500,000. 2.5. 2,000,006, 2,000,007. 2,000,008, 2,000,009. 2.9 in the room. Ladies bid at $2,900,000. $3 million. 3 million. What will you give me? 200. 3,200,000. $3,200,000 for the superb Alice Neal. Where is it? 3,500,000 with Emily. Are you sure? You want to let it go? Thank you so much for the bids. At 3.5, new place with Emily at $3,500,000. This side, Sonia, 3,600,000. 3,700,000. Spectacular picture at 3,800,000. 3.9. The Alice Neal at $4 million. Thank you, Sonia, at 4 million. Let's try 4.2, Emily, if you can. At 4,100,000, thank you. 4.1. At 4 million. 4,150. Let's come to that point. At 4,150. 4,150. 4.2 if you like. 4,200,000. For mother and child at 4.2. 4,250. 4,250. 4,300,000. 4.3. And 50. 4,350. 4,400,000. Emily's bid now at 4.4. 4,400,000. And 50. Emily. At 4,450. I can wait, but only so long. Should we try 4.5? Yes, 4,500,000. And 50. 4,550,000 for the 1967 mother and child. $4,600,000. Thank you, Emily. At 4,600,000. $4,600,000. You sure? Thank you so much for the bids. Fair warning then. I'm selling to you, Emily, at 4,600,000. Sold at 4.6. Ladies and gentlemen, that, I think, smashed the world record for Alice Neal. What a fabulous result. Congratulations. Lot number 51, we move now to the Camille Pissarro, this luminous landscape from 1896, which has been off the market for almost 50 years. And let's open this, please, at 950, $1,100,000. At $1,100,000 for the Pissarro now, 1,000,001. Bid with me here on the book at 1,000,001, 1,200,000, 1,300,000, 1,4 and 1,5, 1,6 and 1,7, 1,8 and 1,9. I have, Vanessa, $2 million, 2,200,000. 2,2. With me here on the book, 2,400,000. Thank you. 2,600,000. I have at $2,600,000. Ahead of the phones at 2,6. 2,8, please, if you would. At $2,600,000. Here we are, at $2,600,000. Try one more. 2,700,000 with you, Jutta. At 2,700,000. I'm out. Vanessa, one more. Are we all done then? At 2,700,000, 2,800,000 with you online. Thank you. At 2,800,000. For the Pissarro, at $2,800,000. Are we going on at 2,800,000? You have it online. It really has to be 2,900,000, please. Yeah, at $2,800,000. 2,900,000. 3 million if you like online. It's at $2,900,000. With Jutta from our Zurich office, $3 million is bid. 3-1 if you like, Jutta. $3,100,000. 3,200,000. 3-2. 3,300,000. For the Pissarro. At $3,300,000. With you, Jutta, not yours online. I'm selling for $3,300,000. Last chance, all done at 3-3. Thank you online for the bids. It's here. Sold 3-3 to paddle 1743. On to lot number 52, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hassam, the seminal flag painting across the avenue in sunlight, June 1918. This dazzling picture. It's been off the market for almost 80 years, and I can open at 4.2, 4.5, $4,800,000. At $4,800,000. 4.8. $5 million. Thank you, Bo. 5,500,000. At 5,500,000 ahead of you now. At 5.5. At 5.5. I'm at 5.5. What are you offering me? $6 million. It's here with Bo. Bidding. 6,500,000. At 6.5. With you, Tylee. 6.5. Where is it? Ah, there you are, sir. Thank you. $7 million. Thank you for your bid. At $7 million. At 7. $7,250,000. 7,500,000. 750. 750. $8 million. For $8 million. Your bid, sir. Gentleman's bid in the room at $8 million. 250. For $8 million. Gentleman seated at $8 million. Are we going on? 250. 8,500,000. 8.5. You're sure? Thank you for the bids, Tylee. At $8,500,000. You have it at the moment, sir. Are we all done this side? Fair warning, at $8,500,000. Bo, one more. You're out. Selling to you then for $8,500,000. Sold to you, sir. Pedal 260. Thank you. Yeah, oh, why not? Well done. Lot number 53 is the Degas, this from the collection of Lorinda Payson de Roulet, the Enfants et Ponies. It's a playful picture from 1867, which was a gift to Joan Whitney Payson in 1921. And let's open this at $900,000, please. At $900, $950, $1 million. At $1 million for the Degas now. $1,100,000, thank you, sir. $1,200,000, $1,300,000. At $1,300,000, $1,400,000 this side. $1,500,000, thank you. At $1,500,000. At $1,500,000, $1,600,000 with Charmy. $1,700,000. In the room at $1,700,000, $1,800,000, $1,900,000, thank you, madam. $2 million is bid. At $2 million, $2,200,000, $2,400,000. 2 million. I'll take 2.5, 2.5, 2.6. 2.6 ahead of you, 2,700,000, thank you. New bidder now, 2.7, 2,800,000. 2,900,000, thank you, madam. $3 million. $3 million one, $3 million two. 3 million three, 3 million four, 3 million five, 3 million six, 3 million seven, 3 million eight, 3 million nine, 4 million. Do you want to try for 2? For the Degas. For the oil painting from 1867 at $4 million. Yes, 4 million two. $4 million two is bid. 4,400,000. Thank you for the bids, madam. At 4,400,000. Miss, are you still in? No? At 4,400,000. You're sure? Yes? Thank you so much for the bids. Selling to you, sir, at $4,400,000. It's there. Congratulations, pedal 306. Next, ladies and gentlemen, is the superb Caillebotte Le Déjeuner, shown in the second Impressionist exhibition, and it's been with the Caillebotte family for 130 years, and of course, included in the 2024-2025 Caillebotte show at the Dorset, Getty, and Art Institute of Chicago. Here it is. After 130 years with the family, and I can start this at $4,200,000, $4,500,000, $4,800,000 is bid with me already at $4,800,000, $5 million, $5,500,000, at $5,500,000. Bid with me on the book at $5,500,000, at $5,500,000 for the Caillebotte. $6 million with Connor, thank you, at $6 million with Connor. 6.5? 6 is bid. 6,500,000. $7 million. For $7 million. For the Caillebotte now, it's 7. At $7 million with Connor Jordan. Olivier. I won't sell until I get a yes or a no from you. But you can't ignore me. At $7 million. It's with Connor. Fair warning to you, Ollie. At $7 million. Cheer. For the Kaibot, at $7 million. Ahead of the two phones this side, for $7 million. I can wait. Still waiting. Ollie, fair warning. Cheer, fair warning to you both. That's $7 million. Connor, thank you for the patience. I know. You should tell Ollie. Just. You're trying. Okay. Ollie, fair warning. I'm selling. Last chance, cheer. Thank you for the bids. Selling to you, Connor, for $7 million. Sold. 139. 139. Thank you, Connor. Lot number 55 is next. This is the Sisley from the Payson de Roulet collection. The Viaduct picture from 1878, acquired by the family in 1951. And let's open this at $480, $500, $550,000. At $550, $600,000. Thank you in the room at $600. At $600,000. For $600,000. For the Sisley, $650,000. $700,000. $750, $800. Jacob, $850. You sure? $900,000, thank you. New place now. At $900,000. $950. $1 million. For the Sisley, at $1 million. Thank you, sir. $1 million. $1,100,000. $1,200,000. $1,300,000. $1,400,000. $1,500,000. $1,600,000. $1,700,000. $1,800,000. $1,800,000. $1,900,000. Round it up. Yes, $2 million. $2,050,000. Oh, $1,950,000. We can do that. $1,950,000. $2 million. No? Thank you so much for the bids. It's this side then. At $2 million. Fair warning to the room. I'm selling here for $2 million. Jacob, sold to you. $2 million. 1896. Thank you. And we move next to the Pierre Bonnard, the red slippers from the collection of Marilyn Harrison. And let's open here at $200,000, $220,000, $240,000, $260,000, $280,000, $300,000 with you, Sian, at $300,000. For the Bonnard, at $300,000. Sian has it. At $300,000. Are we going on? I can sell for $300,000. Fair warning. Last chance for this at $300,000. Sian. Sold to paddle 7074. And lot number 57 is the Renoir from 1907. Acquired 60 years ago by our consignors, the Raab Goldberg collection. And let's open this at $700,000, $750,000, $800,000. At $900,000 is bid already at $900,000. At $900,000. Any advance? At $900,000 for the Renoir now at $900,000. At $900,000. Are we going on? At $900,000. The bid is here. At $950,000. Thank you, Sarah. $1 million. At $1 million. Knock. $1 million for the Renoir now. $1 million. Sarah, one more. At $1 million. With Sarah Altema. 1-1 if you like. 1 million is bid. 1,100,000, 1,200,000. At 1-2. 1,250. You're out. Thank you for the bids. At $1,250,000. Are we all done? Fair warning, Eric, are you coming in? No? Fair warning then at 1,250. Sold to paddle 1722. And lot number 58 is the Chagall, La Princesse Rouge. This chromatic picture from 1980. And let's open this at 1,516, $1,700,000. 1,7, 1,000,008. Thank you, Paul. At 1,8, $1,900,000. $2 million. $2,300,000. With Keith at 2,3, 2,4. With Mish. $2,400,000. Paul, one more. The bid is this side with Mish. Knock, Charmy. Any advance? It's here then. I'm selling for $2,400,000. Sold to Mish for 1863. And lot number 59 is the Frank Stella. This epic 1968 work from the Protractor series from the Kawamura Memorial DIC Museum of Art. Work from 1968, almost 20 feet wide. Make sure you have space. And we can open this at $700, $750, $800,000. At $800,000. $850 with you, Nick. At $850 now. $900,000. At $900,000. $1 million. $950. I'll take $950. There it is. $1 million. $1,100,000. $1,150. $1,200,000. You're out? Thank you. At $1,200,000. You have it then, selling to Nick at 1 million. Where is it? Thank you. Good to see you. And 1,250, yes? 1,250. 1,000,003 and 50. 1,004 and 50. 1,005 and 50. 1,006 and 50. 1,007 and 50. 1,8 and 50. 1,009 and 50. $2 million. Your bid, Nick, at 2 million. 2,100,000. $2,100,000. You're out? Are you sure? Thank you so much for the bids. You have it at $2,100,000. Last chance. 2-1. Sold to paddle 301. Lot number 60 is next. This is the Lichtenstein, the mirror number 5. And here we can start at 1,314, $1,500,000 now at 1,500,000. 1,600,000. Thank you, Nick. 1,007,000 ahead of you. At 1,007,000, 1,800,000. At $1,800,000 for the Lichtenstein mirror. At $1,800,000. Are we going on? At 1,800,000. Nick has it. I can sell for $1,800,000. All done. Last chance. 1,800,000. Sold to you, Nick. Paddle 7140. And lot number 61 is another work by Lichtenstein. This is the double glass. This executed in 1979 and acquired by our consignor in 1980. And let's start this at $600, $650, $700,000. At 700. 760,000. How much? 800,000. Is this side? 800 with Catherine. Where is it? 850,000. Thank you, sir. 850. 900,000. With Kristen.
1, 2, please.
$1,200,000. It's unexpected. Thank you, Taylor. At $1,200,000. Ahead of you in the room, sir, and not yours, Kristen, at $1,200,000. For the Lichtenstein, the double glass, at $1,200,000. $1,250,000. Kristen, are you still in? Taylor looks like she is, but I'm not sure about you. 1,300,000. $1,300,000 with Taylor on the telephone. 1,350,000 if you like, sir. I'm selling. Fair warning, sir. I'm selling this side for $1,350,000. Thank you, Kristen.
1, 5, please.
1,500,000. I'll take 1,550,000, Kristen, if you like. $1,500,000. Taylor Nemetz, specialist on the team, at $1,500,000. You're out. Thank you for the bid, sir. Are you out? Last chance. I'm selling for $1,500,000. Last call. It's there. Thank you for the bids. Sold for 1,500,000. to 1760. Thank you so much. And lot number 62, we move now to the first of the Duchamps. This is in advance of the broken arm. It's emblematic, ready-made, and let's open this at $1,700,000, $1,800,000, $1,900,000, $2 million. Thank you. At $2 million, $2,200,000, $2,300,000. Well done, Sarah. At $2,300,000. The bid is here with Sarah Friedlander and selling. Are we all done? At $2,300,000. It's here with Sarah at 2,300,000. That's upside down. I can't read that. Sold to you, paddle 7041. Lot number 63A is next. We move now to the Monte Carlo Bond, number 30, lot 63A, the Marcel Duchamp. This one activated with the 50 centime stamp. And here we can start at $650, $700, $750,000. At $750,000. At $750,000, $800,000. Thank you, sir. Gentleman's bid at $800,000. Where is that? $850,000. $900,000. That's a no? Thank you for the bids, Jan. At $900,000. It's here in the room on my right and selling for $900,000. So you have it. Sold to paddle 279, $900,000. And lot number 64A is next. This is the Picasso, the wonderful still life from 1945, 1946. This one acquired by the family of our consignor in 1968. And here we can start at $1,718, $1,900,000 now. $2 million, thank you. $2,200,000, $2,400,000 with Michael at $2,400,000. Michael's bid, $2,600,000 online. 2,600,000 for the Picasso at $2,600,000 with the online bidder at 2,600,000. Where is it? $2,800,000. Thank you, Chia. At $2,800,000. Ahead of you online, and not yours, Michael, at $2,800,000. You coming in? $2,850,000 I'll take this stage of the evening. $2,850,000, $2,900,000 if you like. $2,850,000 is the bid. $2,900,000. Yes? And 50. $2,950,000, $3 million. Let's try for 3,100,000. 50, $3,050,000. 3,050,000. 3,100,000. 3,100,000. 3,100,000. 3-1 is the bid with you, Chia. And 50. 3-1-50 for the Picasso. And that's 3 million too. On the telephone with Chia from our Tokyo office. Yes? And 50. 3,250,000. $3,300,000. What should we do? You're out. Thank you for the bids. Selling to you, Chia. Are we all done? At 3,300,000. It's here. 3,003,000. Congratulations to paddle 1789. Thank you so much. And lot number 66 is next, ladies and gentlemen. The last lot in this evening's sale. This from the Joanna Carson collection, the Henry Moore, the double standing figure, monumental bronze. You all saw it on your way in. And this work exhibited at MoMA in the early 1950s. And here we can start at 1,718, $1,900,000 at $1,900,000, $2,300,000 with Keith at $2,300,000. Keith's bid with the execute at $2,300,000 for the Henry Moore. 2-3. Any advance at $2,300,000. Who's next? 2,400,000. 2,500,000. 2,500,000. How are we going on for the Henry Moore? 2.5, not yours, Jutta. All the rest of the telephones at $2,500,000. 2,600,000. 2.6 is the bid. It says here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phones. So at $2,600,000. Any advance? Are we all done? At $2,600,000. Do you have it, Jutta? At the moment, 2,700,000. There's one. At 2,700,000 with Adrian. And 50. 2,750. 2,800,000. And 50. Was that a 50? No, at 2,800,000. Still with you, Adrian, at $2,800,000. Adrian's bid at $2,800,000. 2.8. 2,900,000. $3 million. At $3 million. And 50. 3,100,000. 3,001,000. Can we correct the board, please? At $3,100,000. There it is, at 3-1. 3-1. 50, really? At $3,150,000. You're out, thank you. At $3,150,000. But we're at 3,150. You're sticking at 3-1. 3-1. Okay, at 3-1. Would you like 50, Yussi? No? Fair warning. At $3,100,000. Are we all done? Selling it here. 3,200,000. 3,300,000. 3-3. 3,400,000. 3,500,000. 3,550,000. Look what you started. 3,550,000. 3,600,000. Bad habits. Huh? And 50. Thank you. Thank you, Jutta. 3,650 is your bid. 3,700,000. And 50. 3,800,000. And 50. 3,900,000. $4 million. Thank you, Jutta. At $4 million. 4-1, if you would. 4,000,001. For the Henry Moore, the double standing figure from the Carson collection at $4,100,000. And 50. And 2, 4,000,002. Jutta. And 50, 4,250,000. 4,003,000. For $4,300,000, yes? And 50. 4,400,000. With Adrian Meyer at $4,400,000. And 50. 4,600,000. 4,600,000. And 50. Thank you, Jutta. 4,650,000 now. 4,700,000. And 50. 4,750,000. For the last lot in the sale, 4,800,000. And we might be here all night. 4,850,000. $5 million. $5 million. For $5 million. For the Henry Moore. 5,100,000. 5,200,000. And 50, 5,250. 5,300,000. And 50, 5,350. 5,500,000. And 50, 5,550. What's next, Adrian? 5,600,000. And 50, thank you, Jutta, at 5,650. $5,800,000. The superb Henry Moore, the double standing figure at $5,800,000. What's that, 50? 5,850,000. Yes? What do you, just 50 more or 6 or it's $5,900,000. Thank you, Adrian. 5,900,000. $5,900,000. And 50. $6 million. $6 million. Jutta. 6,100,000. Thank you. At 6,100,000. 6,200,000. That's 6,200,000. 6,300,000. I can't believe it. Are you out? At $6,300,000. Thank you for the bids, Adrian. Selling to you, Jutta. Last chance. You're sure it's there for $6,300,000. Sold to paddle 1794. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for your bids and for joining us here this evening. We look forward to seeing you all for our day sales, starting with Impressionist and Modern Works on Paper at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and for the Defined Space, the collection of Henry McNeil Jr. and Marian's Richter's and 21st Century Evening Sale. Good night.